Yay, we're live.
Ooh,
Are you so
we're so
excited?
fast.
Are you ready for this? Are you ready to be on here, Christopher?
I woke up ready.
You woke up ready? Awesome.
Mm. I've been
Okay,
sitting here like this all day.
just waiting for this moment to come
I've
on
been
and be
I
live.
know.
Okay, well, I got you. That's good. I'm excited. Okay, yay! We get to talk about rankings and all kinds of fun stuff. Triple crowns this week. Are you looking forward to Kansas City? I want to know.
Well, no, I'm not looking forward to Kansas City because it's going to be single digit temperatures. I am definitely looking forward to the volleyball. It just so happens to be in Kansas City.
Yeah. I don't fair weather and cold weather. Like that's not I always think I'm going to die.
It's like going to be like really cold. Like you could die. Like if you stayed outside long enough in those temperatures, the way we dress, we would be dead pretty quick.
Okay. Well, let's dive into it. I wanted to come on with you and talk about rankings this week. There was some major shakeups that we need to talk about. So, Christopher, who do you want to start with? 15s, 18s? Where are we starting today?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
We're good. We don't
Let
do a ton with the 18s. Maybe we can start with the 17s.
you want to start with the 17s?
Sure, why not?
Sam said I'm already complaining about the cold. I'm not from Buffalo, Sam.
But it's legit cold. Like when it's like 50, you're complaining, and we're like, okay, but when it's like 6, 7 degrees, when you can literally count to a temperature using your fingers, like 1, 2, 3, 4, like this is how cold it is. Like that's cold. That's cold. You can't do that to go to like 50 or 60. When you're like, it's going to be 6, you can use your hands to tell temperatures, like you could die.
Okay, let's dive into 17s. So, breakdown. Let's go. Any major shakeups? If you want to give us a rundown, you want to go over the top 10 and just kind of give the lowdown. I don't feel like there was a lot of movement in 17s, but you tell me.
Well, there wasn't a whole lot within inside. Like the top 8 teams kind of just got rearranged a little bit. TAV went from number 3 to number 1, having just won the tour stop and doing really well. Houston Skyline jumped up from number 8 to number 2 because they did really well at both tour stops. But to me, the biggest movement was with Coast and Premier Nebraska. They both did really, really, really well at the Northern Lights qualifier. So they both jumped from the low 20s to inside the top 10. So that was really, really a big.
Big Jeff.
Yeah, that's the biggest movement there. And so, now they get a chance to, as they say, back it up at Triple Crown and see what happens.
Yeah. But anybody that you're excited to see in this 17s group this weekend from last year coming into this year, anybody that you're looking forward to have seen how they developed?
Well, I am like really excited to see Coast just having won a qualifier. I felt like their team was solid last year, competitive, but to come out and win a qualifier early on, it's like, oh, okay, like what do you got going on? What's happening this year? So excited to get out and see them. And just kind of some of the SoCal teams in general, like we used to live out there, and now we don't see them until Triple Crown, when we used to have seen them 3 and 4 times by now. So it's always fun to get out there and see those teams.
Okay, let's dive into the 16s age group. And by the way, we welcome your comments. For those of you that are following along on IG, feel free to share any comments that you have about teams or players. We want to hear from you. That is why we are live. So, Christopher, here we go. 16s break it down for us. What do we got going on in the 16s age group?
Well, we saw something very similar like we did with the 17s, and Wave was number 3 a month ago, and us, they're number 1. They had a really strong start to the season. And so we moved them up to number 1, We'll see if they stay there or not. Probably not. It's hard to stay there. You're going to lose some matches during the club season. So typically play musical chairs. The team that really, really has done well and jumped up to number 5 was Vision out of NorCal. They did something that they haven't done. They've actually been coming down and playing in the SCVA regional play, and they've done really, really well for themselves. So, to get noticed and get ranked, you got to play against other top teams and perform, and they certainly have. And that put them in Power Pool A for Triple Crown. So that's a big deal. I'm really excited to see what they have going on. Other than that, just a couple teams like Club V moved up some, Mad Frog moved up some. Club V, of course, came out. We saw them in Houston at the first tour stop. So they've done well the last 2 years, so it's not surprising. But nothing, too crazy. We had some teams take some tumbles, but let's focus on the teams that climbed.
Okay, let's dive into the 15s age group.
The 15s age group. Oh boy. This one is wild. So we had Alamo go. We started them at number 31 in January, which wasn't based on any results. And now they're sitting at number 5. And they performed really, really well at both tour stops. They picked up 3 victories over Houston Skyline, which was the runner-up in 14 Open last year. They've beaten Mad Frog 3 times. They've had a couple losses here and there at the tour, but I mean, like, how do you have victories 3 apiece over teams like that? It's tough. So it's like, well, here you go. And as a result, they're also in Power Pool A in Kansas City. So, I mean, well-deserved. And now we'll see they just do well against those 2 teams, or if they can kind of stretch out some victories against other teams from around the country.
Okay.
But in terms of going up, we put Dynasty number 1. They also went from number 3 to number 1. So I don't know if that was just a coincidence or if there was subconsciously I was like doing something there.
If you were subconsciously doing something.
Yeah.
Okay. Give us the lowdown. What are you most looking forward to at Triple Crown this weekend? Did you get a chance to look at the schedule and look at the power pools? So what are you like? What day 1 on Saturday? Who are you most excited? What match are you most excited to catch on day 1?
It's not about like the matches, because day 1, there's just so many matches. And at the end of the day, if you're in the power pools, they don't mean anything. I mean, you can go 0-3 and still win the whole thing. So years ago, I kind of stopped worrying about the matches. But for me, it's the age groups. Really, really excited to see the class of 2029, which is crazy because next year we're going to be saying 2030. But anyways, yeah, to watch the youngers and just really see kind of the next generation and who's coming up. And it's really, really our first look. We've seen some obviously going to the tour stops, and we saw some in Central Zone. But this is such a collection of the top teams, and with it, you're going to see a lot of the top players. So just to come out on day 1 at the 7:30 matches and just kind of see that young talent, it's like, yeah, that's really what I look most forward to.
Are you looking forward to our Airbnb and the long days and then coming back and having to break down film?
Yeah, always. Our Airbnb last year was funky though. Remember, it was like 3 stories, but it had like 2 sets of stairs, and I don't know what they did. The design was very odd, but It's always nice. It's always nice to come back and relax and have some workspace and be able to order food and not always have to go out. And the hotel, you feel just like claustrophobic at a certain point. You're like, it's tiny.
Don't give everybody our secrets why we stay at Airbnbs.
Well, it's not like they're staying with us. They can go get their own. It's okay. It's like if we were the only game in town, I'd be like, yeah. Just keep it on the DL.
Okay. Would love to hear feedback from you all on the videos. Feel free to jot them down. We have some questions. Feel free to ask questions so we can address any questions. Somebody's asking about the First Alliance girls, Christopher. Anything you want to?
Well, what age group? Do we have a specific age group?
They did not share an age group. They just said First Alliance girls, question.
Well, the 17s are coming off their, silver medal performance last year. We saw them already come down to Houston, which was really awesome. Really awesome. Shout out to all those clubs, by the way, that do make the trip to the tour, and A5 and Club V and Wave and First Alliance. I believe this is the first time they've ever come. So, we got to see them. They're going to be a really strong team this weekend. The 16s team, I think, got a lot better. We saw them at the first tour stop as well. They kind of struggled against the Wave a little bit, but they also picked up some good victories. So I think, they could be on the rise. And then we saw the 14s in Indy at Central Zone. And yeah, I was impressed with them. They definitely have some potential, and I think they could crack into Open this year.
Cool. We are headed out on Thursday. We fly in Thursday morning, bright and early. We plan to do a live on Thursday night and add Coach Sam to the mix. So she'll be on, and we're going to talk about recruiting and talk about body language and kind of some fun tips that we need to share with you through the weekend. Also want to remind you that we have our party on Friday night, kind of the pre-party before the weekend. So really looking forward. We're hosting it at the Pizza Bar. It's completely free. Looking to build relationships with more athletes, with coaches, club directors, you name it. You all are welcome. You just have to go on our website and register. We are partnered with Athlete AI and putting together the event, and it's going to be really fun. There's a cool DJ who will be spinning, and we will be having an opportunity to get to know you all and chit chat. So I think it'll be really fun.
You forgot to mention the other F word, though.
What's the other F word?
Food. So free food is even better than just a free event.
Okay, 6 kids, 1 tank, who tried to collab with me. I'm sorry I didn't accept your collab. You could tag, but I don't always accept the collab. But your video was funny. I should have commented.
Tanks.
It's called 6 Kids, 1 Tank. And he
Is commented. It an Army video?
No, this is a dad. He said, check out Rogue 14 Go. And then he said, check them out. They got 3rd in gold at Central Zone. Are you familiar with them? Did you see Rogue when we were in Central Zone? I was sick at the hotel room. Not the hotel room, our Airbnb. I felt like I was dying.
I don't feel well. Did they get 3rd and Open?
It just says 3rd and gold. I'm guessing no, it wouldn't be Open.
Yeah.
3rd and Open.
Was that for the 14s?
Yeah. You'll have to look it up. Ooh, somebody said we are supposed to get snow tomorrow, so hopefully your flights are good. Well, we fly out Thursday, so I hope that we make it out. Flynn wants to know if you've already submitted film to the link in your bio, are you allowed to submit better film? Totally. You can submit film anytime. Oh, 6 Kids, 1 Tank says, thank you for checking it out. So we're looking.
We are.
We'll look at highlights.
Are they coming to Triple Crown?
I don't know. Are you coming to Triple Crown? 6 Kids, 1 Tank. I'm going to see if I can find. I don't think I can open it and actually see. But he posted a funny video. Y'all should go follow him. It was about see how affordable a club volleyball tournament is.
Or is not.
That was basically the point. It was kind of funny. Olivia asked if we've heard of Sky High. Yes. I actually have quite a few clients that play at Sky High. Oh, he said no, they will be in Cleveland this weekend. So
Ooh.
What was
Cleveland?
What was at Central Zone? Was it open and club, or what was it at Central Zone? I don't remember looking.
There was 14 open, 14 Premier Blue, 14 Premier Red, 14 Club Blue, 14 Club Green, 14 Club Red, 14 Club White. I don't know how many more colors you can get in there, but maybe next year they'll add a few more.
Okay. Well, so what were they? What did they win?
I don't know. I don't know the pecking order of the colors.
Flynn wants to know, are you looking at 13s as well? We aren't going to Triple Crown. We're going to other big tournaments. I am not looking at 13s like heavily. Yes, we look at 11s to 13s. My daughter plays 11s. Our daughter plays 11s. So we're going to, where am I going? I'm going to MEQ for 11s to 13s. So I'll be watching
St. Louis.
I'll be in St. Louis that weekend. Ooh, Brandy said, thanks for all you do for the players. You're welcome. We're excited. Oh, he said, my apologies. It was for Steel City.
Oh, okay.
That's a totally different tournament. Mental blur. Laugh out loud. We were at Steel City and we got 3rd in Gold Open. My apologies.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Yeah.
Well, let us know where else you're going, where you're going to play this season. We are headed to, let me just share. So we moved from Southern California, where we lived 5 minutes from the beach, to Dallas, Texas. We really live in Frisco. So we moved to Frisco. And it's cold, like really cold. Like the summer cannot come fast enough. I literally almost cry every day because I'm so cold. So after Triple Crown, we are going to Florida and staying for 2 weeks. And I told Chris that I'm not sure that I want to get on a plane and come home because.
Well, after you told me that today, I did actually check the weather because you know me, I'm always checking the weather. It's not going to be 80 like you think it's going to be. There's highs of 60 in Orlando, so you could actually experience hypothermia there too.
I'm not. I need the sun. I want the sun. I want a pool, and I want to enjoy my time. Sadly, I feel like I'm developing an allergy to alcohol, so I don't think I'll be able to have a cocktail, but I will totally enjoy our time by the pool.
That's okay. I'm not drinking anymore either.
Shut up.
Well, I'm not drinking any less.
Okay. Do you ever look around at WLPC leagues? Babe, do you know what WLPC leagues are?
No.
I don't either. You gotta run it down for us. What is the WLPC league? Ooh, Alex Serena is on, and she said she can't wait to see us this weekend. We cannot wait to see you and your mom either. Christopher.
Yes.
Who is I don't know that we'll predict. Okay, 8's dad wants to know who we pick to win in 13 and 14 open. Okay, we don't know enough about 13s yet. We will be watching 12s and 13s this weekend, or I will.
Mm-hmm.
We're watching some 12s and 13s. But realistically, who do you pick to win 14 open at Triple Crown?
Triple Crown? It's a boring pick. But until somebody beats them, like, how do you pick against them? And that's A5. They won everything last year. They won Triple Crown. They won AAUs. They won USAV Nationals.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've seen two really good 14s teams at the tour with Skyline and Mad Frog. We know they're going to be a handful. You have Legacy. They looked really good in Indy, but they lost to Boiler Juniors, who's a bit of surprise in Power Pool B. I think a team to watch, I was a little surprised they didn't get put in Power Pool A, is KC Power. They're home. They've started extremely strong in their regional play. And I think they might be a little motivated by not making Power Pool A. And I think, they might have a say.
You know what? I think it would be great. Can you just kind of explain the benefit of being in the power pool? Like why being in the power pool is so important starting off, if if you're fortunate enough, like what that does for you. And then for everyone outside that's not in the power pool, can you kind of explain the tournament? Because Triple Crown's really unique that way. So
yeah. So for the older ages, like 15 and up, there's 4 power pools, A, B, C, and D. For 14s, there's just A, B, and C. And it started when the whole idea when it first started is to match the best teams and just let them play with essentially a safety net. So you could go, like I said, you could go 0-3 on day one, and then you're still in it. So that's the huge benefit is not only do you get to play extremely good competition right out the gate, is you're guaranteed to make, I think it's called the championship elite bracket. I don't know. They're always changing the name, but the top bracket, the one that's going to win it all, that's the benefit, because you get to do your power pool on day one. And then that first match on day 2, other teams who are outside of power pool, first of all, they have to, it's like any other tournament, you got to go first or second. And then they play that first match to get in, where the power pool teams, they just play seeding matches and they're automatically gonna make the bracket. So
the one thing that I always hear from families after the weekend, so hopefully you can shed some light on this, like that's a tournament that sucks to lose at the wrong time. So can you explain what that means to people when they say it sucks to lose at the wrong time at that tournament weekend?
Yeah, because it's single elimination once you make it to the bracket. So you're used on day 2 being in a pool play, and you go, dang, you wake up that morning and you just play under your capabilities, and you get upset and you go, okay, that's fine. You win your next 2 matches, you take second in the pool, you advance. You set yourself up for a tougher day 3. There's no safety net like that. So it's like, gosh, you just put in a stinker of a match and you're out. And now you're playing out the string, and you're, like this happened to, I believe, Mittenette 2 years ago when they were in 15. So that's the year that they ended up going on to win AAUs and taking second at USAV Nationals. And that happened to them where they got blitzed in like one of the morning matches, and they ended up finishing like way out of the running. And you're like, wait, what just happened to this team, right? So it's like, yeah, so it is like if you just lose at the wrong time and then you're just playing it out, it's tough.
I know in years past you've talked about this particular tournament. Obviously, I know you work around the clock on rankings following this tournament too. So can you shed some light on how this event impacts rankings and then even like predictions when it comes to nationals? Because I feel like every year at nationals, I hear you boast a little bit about how you were so accurate. So break it down. Give us the lowdown on how this all works.
Well, I like to do a rankings leading into Triple Crown because it's fun, and we've had some results from the first 6 weeks of the season or so. And then I like to do it right after, because all the top teams just played each other, and then you go into qualifying season. And so, I mean, this tournament is going to shake everything up, because the way we put together our rankings, it goes off results. So you're going to look at a team who can come to Triple Crown and they go 9-0, 10-0, 11-0, and they beat 3 teams in the top 5. You're like, okay, this team's probably number 1 right now going into qualifying season, you know. But the thing about Triple Crown is it's so early in the season. Like it's a great event. Everybody talks about it, but it's like the one, I don't want to say secret, but it's like, it doesn't mean anything. Like everybody thinks it's like, oh my God, we want to win Triple Crown, blah, 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 blah. Do you know how many teams who won Triple Crown last year won a gold medal at USAV Nationals? A5. They won 13 division at Triple Crown and they went on. No other team won it. In fact, T Street, who won 15 Open, you know where they finished last year? 10th place. Dynasty went on to win 14 Open. Do you know where they finished?
The answer is still
place. So it's not a prediction of like what's going to happen at nationals. It's almost become like the opposite. Like if you win Triple Crown, like good luck, you're not going to win a gold medal.
Ooh, are you calling that out right now?
I could be.
Okay. So in years past, when you have boasted, I'm going to call it boasting, bragging, boasting. What are we going to call this? Because I feel like
it's got to be any of them.
Well, last year though, you came out and you were like kind of pumping your chest and you're like, yeah, my rankings held out, and you were like super proud of yourself. I feel like you've done that 2 years in a row.
Well, first of all, it has nothing to do with the rankings. Like if you have a chest like this, you just pump it out naturally, you know, like God-given blessing. Thank you very much. But no, the rankings hold up. You know, when I put out the rankings and like you have 1 through 8 and you're like, well, 6 of the 8 teams who we ranked in the top 8 are in the quarterfinals. That's pretty good. That means something. It means somebody's paying attention to something. Also, thank you, teams, for having my back. Because when you lose, it's like, man, I feel betrayed. Like I stood up for you, and you can't even like have my back. So,
Elizabeth Gilmore wants us to watch Dynasty 15 Black this weekend, and
definitely.
Somebody else said it was a good breakdown. What was a good breakdown? I missed that. I think it was a good breakdown to like hear you kind of explain really how Triple Crown works, because I think there's a lot of confusion around it, like truly. Is our daughter on? McKinley Hill? Does she have another Instagram account, and does she have her phone? And McKinley Hill, if you—
I don't know how she's on it.
Okay. All right.
I got her phone in front of me. She'd be all doing some secret stuff.
I know. Well, at least she's watching our live. We'll take it.
True.
But it's 10 o'clock. You need to go to bed.
Yeah. But I mean, you have to give a lot of credit to the people who run Triple Crown. I mean, it's not like they're just, the calendar turns to January and they're like, oh, well, we should start figuring it out. I mean, they fly around to tournaments throughout the year. They're constantly getting feedback throughout the year on where teams should be. So they put a lot of hard work into it. And when you do a power pool and you say, here's power pool A, here's 1 through 8, well, a team who would be 9 or 10 is going to be like, well, we should be there, right? But that's where you have to be careful at a tournament like that. You can't complain too much about it. Because if you're like, well, we're power pool A and you put us in power pool C and then you finish in 56th place, it's like, yeah, you didn't belong in power pool A, you know? And so that's what makes it so cool, is that there's not open, national, club, premier. There's one division, and everybody who enters the tournament has an equal shot of winning it.
Well, I don't know. You think all have an equal shot? The power pool does give a layer of protection there.
A little bit, but what I mean by that is, like, if you win all your matches, you'll be the champion. I don't care where you start in that tournament. If you don't lose, you'll be the champion. And that's what I'm saying is, we don't have to say there's 4 divisions. So if you go undefeated in this division, you're still not the top division champion.
Okay.
That's my logic anyways.
All right.
And
Zoe Kwan says, thank you for the info. It is her first time to Triple Crown.
Oh, yay.
Come to
Bring
our
a jacket
party
or 2.
Come to our party on Friday night. We're hosting a party. It's going to be super fun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Olivia wants you to know the WCPL is the Windy City Power League.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I've never heard it shortened. Yeah. I pay attention to those results. I've seen it. Have I been there? No, I don't think I've been. No, I used to go to Chicago for the tournament over, was it Memorial Day? Yeah. I've been to that one a couple times, and they play in that big balloon sort of dome thing.
That is where we declared our love for one another.
Well, not at the balloon dome thing.
No, but.
Well, you just followed up right after that. I don't think people will be like, yeah, man, you know what I love more than this balloon dome? You.
No, at Wrigley Field. That was it.
It was. Or as our son likes to call it, Wrigley Stadium.
Wrigley Stadium. Yeah, he's not. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Jacob called me the GOAT of volleyball recruiting. I will take it. Thanks, Jacob. I appreciate that. Zariah wants to know if we'll recruit her. We don't recruit like for anyone except for, our recruiting service. I guess we could recruit you for our recruiting service. If you want help with recruiting, hit us up. Okay. Next up, what is some advice for Triple Crown for a player? Chris, before I dive in and share advice, do you have any advice for the players of Triple Crown?
Well, I'm guessing without seeing the question that they're probably talking about recruiting or the way to stand out. For me, I'm like, just have fun. It's a standard answer, but just go have fun. Don't worry about anything except what you can bring to the court. And if you walk off the court and you go home and you still have something left in your tank, then, you got to make sure you empty it the next day.
So I'm going to start with your email marketing campaign needs to be creative, fun, think outside of the box, and don't sound like everybody else. So that's one thing. I hate emails that say, hi, coach, my name is Kara Hill. I'm an outside hitter in the class of 28. I play at this high school. I play at this club. I preach about this a lot. And I think that those emails that sound like everybody else, there are 100, we did the math, y'all. There are 100,000 girls playing this weekend. 100,000.
Well, not just at Triple Crown, but across the country. Yeah.
Right. So to stand out, in terms of at the tournament, your body language, having positive body language, don't pout on the sidelines when you're not playing, don't cross your arms, be a good teammate, cheer for your team. I will say that at Triple Crown, I feel like, some of the lineups come out and it's a little bit of a surprise at the beginning of the season. Your tournament, your roster might have evolved a bit. You might have, had more opportunity to play. And then all of a sudden you get to that tournament and, coaches kind of finalize their roster, I feel like, to compete, to face the toughest competition. So I think for some of you all, there's a little bit of, a shock, if you will, if you went from playing a lot to now all of a sudden you're not getting as much playing time. And, that's hard. Like especially, you're a young player that's going in, it does make you a better person, a better player. It's very difficult, but I think it's super important that you are cheering, that you're being, a great teammate. You make eye contact with your coach, and you have to make warm-up count. This is the other thing. When we talk to college coaches, which is pretty much every day of our existence, a lot of times the college coaches will, kind of share in tournaments like this. They may have anywhere between 400 and 600 players, 400 to 600 players to play in a tournament weekend. So they're going to come by for a couple points. If they happen to come by and they're watching during warm up, like, girl, you better show up. Like, you got to make warm up count, make eye contact with your coaches, be that good teammate. I think all of those things are ways to, help you stand out in an event.
Especially if you're a middle, right? Because you don't always get set once. And college coach ain't going to sit there and watch a whole set to see you swing twice in a set. I've talked to plenty of college coaches too. And I'm like, oh, who are you watching in warm up? Oh, I'm watching this middle because it's the only time I might get to see them hit. Right. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, I want to back up to something because that's where I really feel like you touched on the playing time in this, like, that's been a big evolution for Triple Crown. And I don't know some of these, if you go way back to the Las Vegas Classic, when it was the Las Vegas Classic before Triple Crown even came, a lot of those coaches used that as a recruiting tournament. So they would get girls out there, let them be seen. And then next thing you know, the Texas team started to come to Vegas. And then it became less of a recruiting thing and then more of a, like, we got to win this thing and prove that we're the best. And I feel like early on at Triple Crown, there was like treated much more like a recruiting thing. Like, let's get some girls out there. Let's make sure they get playing time. Let's make sure they get seen, especially if you were in maybe the older age groups and you had some girls who weren't committed, like they would get on the court and they would just be, and coaches did not care where they finished. And I really feel like, the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, it's just gone away from that. You're freezing a little bit on your back. But I would think it's gone away from, like, let's really treat this as a recruiting thing to, like, you're seeing, like, we're going there to win. I'm going to dial in this lineup and see what it works. So for some girls, it can definitely be a shock. And I don't know, I have mixed feelings on how you handle it. Cause like I said, at the end of the day, I don't think you play to peak in February. I don't think your goal should be to win Triple Crown and then go downhill from there. I think this should be a building block. So I don't know.
Do your results matter though to get the invite back? Because I think your results somewhat matter.
The results do matter, but again, like, if you don't have the greatest showing at Triple Crown, but then you come on and you do well during qualifying season and you finish in the top 8 at nationals, what are they going to say? No, you came in 40th at Triple Crown. We're not inviting you back. Like, that's the thing about Triple Crown is they want it to be the best tournament. They want all the top teams there. So if you've proven yourself as a top team and they look at you like, right where you end the season. So it's not all about that. Okay.
Thanks for shedding the light.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap up. It's past our bedtime. It's almost 10:15 here in the great state of Texas. And we're excited for this week. So we're going live again on Thursday night. Thursday night we go live, and we'll be talking a little bit more about recruiting. We're going to be talking about the weekend, our party, of course. Come to the party, sign up for the party. It's going to be super fun. Like Chris said, I was going to call you Coach Sam. Like Chris said, there's pizza.
I should be so honored.
There's pizza and drinks, and we're going to have a really good time. So excited about it. All are welcome. We'd love to hear from you. So thanks for tuning in tonight, and we will
Thank you.
See you soon. Okay. Bye.
Bye.